So please join me in welcoming Dan Adams.
Thank you guys. I really appreciate being here. And I know it's kind of been a sedentary experience throughout this afternoon. But if you have to move around a little bit, you have to move your arms around. I know we don't have a ton of space to do that, but I really want this process to be active. I want you guys to really be able to integrate this stuff into your personal journey, because the thing that I've really taken away from this conference is about creating leaders. It's creating an experience where people are able to go into their communities and really be the change, to take action. And so if you have something to write on, a pen and a piece of paper, that'd be really great for this session, because I want to really kind of integrate some of the things that I've been able to do in my own life and be able to integrate it back into your lives, so you guys can do awesome, epic stuff in your community here in Flint and wherever you are in the world. So my name is Dan Adams. I'm the co-founder of the Higher Purpose Project. Basically what that is, it's a modern-day Justice League. Over the past 2 years, we've been bringing together heroes from all around the world that have wanted to take action and be that change. So people that have really committed, not people that theorize, people that have PhDs, people that simply talk about the problems. We want people that can create the solutions. And so over the course of these past 2 years, we've got to study some amazing people in all different types of industries, in music, in athletics, in art. And there's a common universal process that everyone goes through in building a large-scale dream. And once you understand this process and this formula, and you develop a perspective, it enables you to take huge leaps of faith doing awesome things in your own life. And for me, I love superheroes, but I don't want to be a fan of superheroes. I want to be Bruce Wayne. I want to be my own version of Bruce Wayne. I want to live it. I want to feel it. I want to connect with other superheroes that are doing awesome things in the real world. It's not an ethereal thing. It's a real thing that people are able to do on a daily basis, and they're just like you or I. Being here at this event is a great example of what happens when you hold to an idea. At some point, this was all an idea in someone's head. And through expressing what we wanted to do and bringing people together and communicating and building relationships, everyone's here in this room. And all of you guys have had a tremendous amount of courage to be here with us today, to learn about heroism. And not only to learn about it, but to integrate it into your own life, which is really, really powerful. So, over the course of my own journey, the hero's journey has been a really important thing. Joseph Campbell, unites all of the stories and religions and powerful movie metaphors into this universal formula. But for me, I never resonated with teachers. I never resonated with school. I was kind of that deviant in certain ways. So many people would give me advice on different things, but they were so afraid to step out into that unknown on their own. I would have teachers sometimes that would be like, Dan, you got to go pursue your dreams. Meanwhile, that teacher, was excited for summer to come, and she couldn't wait to get out of the classroom. And, that's a responsibility that we all have to take on. We have to take accountability for our lives and to be able to create that change. If something's not going according to plan, we have to be able to kind of go a different direction and to stand for those ideals that are important to us. So, over the course of this process, the hero to me is the chooser. The chooser of the journey, the chooser of the path. We're not always in control of the things that happen to us, but we're in control of how we respond to it. We're in control of the questions that we ask, that deliver different types of outcomes. You have to ask the question first. You have to develop an awareness to get any type of resources to start flowing to you. And so the first step in the journey is visualization. The young man that was a basketball player that came up here earlier, the visualization process is so important because it enables you to succeed at the highest level in whatever you place your focus. Your greatest superpower at this point is your awareness and where you place your attention. Because where you place that attention, it expands. You learn, you take things in, you grow. If you focus on lack, you create more lack. If you focus on being a victim, you create more victim scenarios for yourself. If you focus on being a creator, you take a responsibility for every aspect of your life, and if something's not going according to plan, you change it. So that first process of visualization, it doesn't simply end at just creating this idea of what you want to be, creating this vision board and this ethereal, esoteric thing that you want to bring into the world. You really have to feel it. You got to feel that emotion in it. You got to really step into it. For me, I always played athletics. That was my medium of expression. For some people, it's art. For some people, it's music. Whatever it is, it's up to you to really place your attention on that and really strive for excellence. For me, I was tremendously undersized playing sports, and everyone told me, "Oh, Dan, you look like a kicker. You'll never be able to play middle linebacker. You'll never be able to do these things that you want to do." But I refused to buy into that story, and I think that's also really important for young people. It's important for people, to be respectful of elders, for teachers, of people that have done some notable things. But it's also important for us to take accountability for our own path and to ask those questions that are important to our own journey. And so for me, being an undersized athlete, I just refused to believe that I couldn't achieve that next level. And as a result, I created new paradigms. I set the NCAA record in 2005 for the most unassisted tackles in a game. And I'm the current NCAA record holder across all divisions. But the thing is, it's not about that action, as that basketball player said earlier. It's not about that feat. It's about that process that you learn throughout that journey that's so important. And once you understand that mindset, you can apply it to anything. You can dream of it, you can create this vision, and then you could take dumb little action steps towards that vision that you want to build. And a good friend of mine with the Higher Purpose Project, he coined this term, dumb actions, because it's those little things that might seem kind of ridiculous, but by doing them, it gets you one step closer to the things that you want to do. For me, that dumb action step, I worked in corporate America for a while. I was doing finance, and my life started to crumble as people that were really important to me started to become labeled as bipolar, dealing with depression, and really kind of put into this bin of, this is the way your life is going to be led. And as I tried to really be a voice in their life, I realized that I was out of alignment. I was becoming that teacher that I never resonated with. I wasn't living the life of Indiana Jones. I was living this life of someone that gave advice to people that wasn't willing to take the leap. And so that was very painful for me. And so I decided to come up with the most ridiculous vision. I utilized all the things that I learned in athletics, and I wanted to take that next step, to apply it to something else. And so I came up with this idea of building an adaptive climbing system for a kid that was born without arms and legs, partially formed arms and legs. And our goal was to climb to the top of Kilimanjaro in Africa. And this initiative, it wasn't focused on being humanitarian. It wasn't focused on disability. It was focused on empowering people to realize their potential, to dive within, confront their fears, and confront those limiting beliefs. Because over the process of building any epic vision, we always come to that threshold where we're like, I'm not going to be able to do this. And all those petty thoughts and limiting beliefs come in, and it really paralyzes us in the process. So we wanted to utilize this young man to create an opening for people. Take someone that was born with every single physical limitation that you could think of and go out and do something that's impossible, to create a new paradigm. Just like I had done on my own in athletics, I wanted to expand that into a new realm. And so in January of 2012, we reached the top of Kilimanjaro. This young man bear crawled. We built an adaptive climbing system through guess and check. We had no experience doing anything. I had no marketing background. I had no PhD in adaptive equipment. We started off with towels and tape, and through a series of failures and setbacks, we continued to move forward, just like with this event. I'm sure Adam and Matt Langdon, the creators of this event, experienced a series of setbacks with bringing people here, but they refused to surrender. And as a result, we're all sitting here today. So the amazing thing about that whole initiative is it ended up winning an ESPY. So the young man that we took up to the top of Kilimanjaro won the Male Disabled Athlete of the Year in 2012. And so it opened us up into this whole new realm of fellow creators, people that had gone out and done really cool things in their life. And For me, it was a huge opening because I got to have really authentic, deep conversations with like my childhood idols. I got to sit next to Mr. Belding from Saved by the Bell. I got to sit next to Alan Thicke from Growing Pains. And then all the athletes like I really looked up to, growing up. And so, in talking to these people, you start to realize that there's a veil behind the Emerald City. You're painted in a certain light in the media, and everyone thinks like, oh, he's made it, everything's good, everything's perfect for him, his life is perfect. But there's always that darkness that you have to confront. And once you understand that process, it gives you that courage to take larger and larger leaps because you're like, oh, I know this guy that did this, and it gives me perspectives to push through. And that was really one of our focuses with the whole Kilimanjaro initiative. The next really important step is, that dumb action. So it's doing those little things that get you one step closer, to that goal. It could be tweeting at someone. A friend of mine wanted to go to space, and so he tweeted Richard Branson and figured out like where he was going, the next conference he was going to. And so through finding that out and taking a flight and building off of some of the relationships he had established, he got into a room and pitched Richard Branson on going to space. And so as a result, he's going to become one of the first photographers to capture space in the Virgin Galactic Space Mission. But it was through that dumb action of just checking Richard Branson's Twitter feed. And those are the type of people that I want to be around. And I don't have a ton of time, in this short talk, but we do have a workshop tomorrow at 11 where I really want to go deeper into these subjects and really help you along your own personal path. The next step is really building your Justice League. The people around you are really a reflection of how you view yourself. A lot of times we want to be like, oh, this guy's bullying me, and I'm dealing with this, and I can't stand this person. Well, what does that say about you in certain ways? Like, what are you reacting to? What type of people do you want to have in your life? What type of things do you want to stand for? And once you kind of come to that conclusion, you can become very conscious with the people you're surrounding yourself with. I look at Matt and the people he's brought into this event, and I know that he loves creativity. He has a thing for bullying. That might be something in his own personal life that he dealt with that he wants to connect with kids. It's always an important thing, and looking at those people you have around you, it'll really help you forward in the different ventures that you work on. The next part is, confronting the breakthrough point. So this is the part where you feel like you're going to die, and it happens to every great creator. Walt Disney went $8 million in debt to build the first animated feature, and that's amazing. Like, just think about the process and just the tedious nature of having to animate something and then color it and then move 1,000 pictures together. He went $8 million in debt to build that vision. Talk about courage, talk about strength, but we forget about that. We just think about Disney World and it was like, oh, it must have been easy. Not really, And that's what's really important for you to understand. There's always that breakthrough point that if you hold to the ideal and you hold to what you want to build, you will experience a world that very few people will see in this world. And those are the paradigm shifters. Those are the heroes in my mind. It's the Roger Bannisters of the world, the people that continue to visualize. And it's not just visualization, they took the action steps. So they were doing, they were practicing, they were constantly working on the craft, molding it with their hands. And what's so amazing about the whole Roger Bannister story, when he broke the 4-minute mile, within 2 years, there was 27 people that broke it. So he gave them permission. And that's what's so amazing. So I really, really encourage you in everything you do, just understand that if you take the leap into the unknown, if you're willing to go out there, incredible things will happen. I'm just going to end with, there's a lot of people here that have been diagnosed with ADHD and bipolar and all these different types of conditions. If you've been diagnosed with this, I think that you have the genius disease. And if you learn to center it, if you learn to utilize your gift, your superpower, amazing things will happen in the world. So I thank you for having me. I thank the Heroes Roundtable, and I really encourage you guys to join us in the workshop tomorrow at 11 to really dive into this.
The Hero Roundtables are the global events that ask the question, what is a hero? You've just seen one hero talk. To find more and join the conversation, visit our website or social media.